Welcome to the Rick Helps Real Estate Show, the Traveling Road Show edition. And thank you to my referral team for keeping busy while I am away. And they are busy. I want to share some numbers. I saw a video this morning, actually, um, by Joe Brown from Hearsay Financial. He's very interesting, talks a lot about everything financial. And he shared some real estate stuff. And what he said, the topic of his video is now a bad time to buy. Now, I'm going to go over some local Arizona numbers, but I'm going to show you some things first. And I'm, of course, not going to say whether it's a good time to buy or a bad time to buy, because I'm going to get accused of that anyway in this video. Here's just another real estate agent telling me I got to buy a house. So you're going to see both ends of this, and I want you to make your own decisions. And, timing is always different every time there's a real estate cycle. And then you get the comments, well, this time is different. There's definitely some different things going on in our market right now. So I wanted to take a look at it from a historical perspective. And I learned some interesting stuff this morning. And one of them was this: the Fannie Mae National Housing Survey home purchase sentiment. In other words, if you go back here to 2011, the sentiment was 59.3, which means people were not too jazzed about buying a house. A lot of them had already lost their house during the great financial crisis. And they were and I remember they going, don't buy a house now. Prices always go down. It's terrible. And turns out that wasn't a bad time to buy a house. I'll show you those numbers in a little bit. And of course, they went up to a peak here in 2019 of 91.5. And then it fell off the map during the pandemic, back down to 63, went down even lower when rates started spiking up. Bad time to buy a house, 57.3. Today, we're sitting at a home buyer sentiment at 71.8, considerably higher than where we were at 59.3. Now, by all means, this does not mean, well, look at this chart, follow it, and you'll be in like Flint. It's just one number to look at. It's a sentiment. And if you're a contrarian, you're going to want to buy when nobody else wants to, or you're going to want to sell when nobody else wants to. So people do that with stocks, cars, tulips. But here's what we saw here, and this is home price, median sales price of homes. And you can see in 2010, they were way down here. This is when nobody wanted to buy. This is during the recession here, the gray area there from the GFC. And then people that bought here, they came out pretty good, going all the way up to 2019. And then the home price sentiment peaked. It fell off the face of the earth again coming into 2020. And then look what happened. Went straight up yet again. Now we're just kind of flat. And that's what we're seeing in this market. We're flat. So is there a direct correlation between the home buyer sentiment and those prices? There's a little one. But the one thing that's a constant, and that is right now, purchasing a home is more expensive than renting a home, because the price of homes has reached this affordability wall that we're all trying to climb over. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who that's really affecting and who could care less. It doesn't matter at all. But here's the thing that's a given, and that is that rent. Look at when rent went down. Yeah, I don't see it either. Rent's gone up. Small adjustments coming in now because of some overbuilding. But overall, nationally, rent has never gone down. So while you're waiting to buy, and there's this gap between how expensive it is to purchase versus how expensive it is to rent, there is a huge gap there right now, making rent affordable. Counting on rent to come down further and remain affordable, historically, is just not there. When will homes become affordable? I don't know. Berkshire Hathaway seems to be very bullish on housing. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway invested nearly $1 billion in home builders Lennar and D.R. Horton since the start of 2025. Now, would they buy housing stocks, builder stocks, if they thought the market was going to implode? I would say probably not. Are they being a bit of a contrarian? I think that's what we're seeing. And what we're seeing here now, are they going to be right? Time will tell. Pull this up at Lennar, and they've got a summer sale. Check this out. Price of this house down $27,500, $4,300, down $28,600. They're lowering their prices. You see, builders have to sell. People that own their homes, they don't have to sell. Yes, there's some people that have to sell because they don't have, they lost their job. Maybe they have to sell because they lost their job. But builders are building with the intent of selling. And if they're not selling, they lower their prices, they give incentives. Homeowners that are sitting with no mortgage or a low mortgage rate, they don't have to sell. There's no desperation in our market right now. So you're getting bigger price reductions on the people that have to sell versus the people that might want to try and sell. And one of the kicks here is that over 30 million US homes, they don't have a mortgage. That's a red flag for the housing market, it says. Now, what's the red flag? Well, the red flag is that inventory spike that people have been waiting for that's going to help lower prices just isn't happening because of that, because 30 million people don't have a mortgage. And then a higher percentage of that have mortgages less than 4%. So they're just staying put. Now, if they lost their job, we're going to have a recession, Rick, and everybody's going to lose their jobs. They're going to have to sell. Not necessarily. Are they going to sell their home or they got an $1,100 payment or no payment so that they can pay those rent prices? Probably not. They do have more options available for you and I trying to get into housing. This is affecting the first-time home buyers. So there's this segment of first-time home buyers that it's just not working out for them, battling against a segment of buyers that don't have to move. And we're seeing that reflected in our number of listings that we have in our market. They've come down and they're kind of flattening and leveling out. Nobody's throwing their homes on the market. Those that have this huge amount of equity, if they lose their job, they can probably get a reverse mortgage if they're over 62. Or there's a lot of other options that they can explore besides just dumping the house on the market. And the other interesting thing in our market here in Arizona is we just can't let go of 2024. Look at this chart. This is listings under contract compared weekly, week after week after week. We're just right there with last year. I look at the same thing in pending listings. So not a lot of difference between under contract and pending, but they're both hugging last year's number. We're up slightly past 2 weeks, but not by much. I'm still seeing our new contracts hanging in there over 70 moving average, reaching a floor of about 2,700 up to 2,800. It just ding, 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 ding. I thought we'd start seeing a few more listings this week, and that's why I said in my newsletter that I think those green arrows on the Cromford Market Index would start to turn yellow, which means they were going to be going the other way. That did not happen. I could not have been more wrong. Now, if I look at different zip codes, take a look at here at Ahwatukee. They have a 2-month supply of homes. I go in an area that I know in Central Phoenix, North Central, 85014. They got a 5-month supply of homes. Go to Chandler, 85226. Very popular zip code because of the school district there, proximity to freeways, and here it is here. Look at that, 2-month supply. So the numbers are different depending on the area that you're in. If you want to get a zip code report, take a look here at my QR code or the link below. Go to Rick Helps data center. Not data center. Anyway, you can click on that link and tell me what you're looking for. You just want a general market report or a report for your zip code. Little paragraph down there below. Tell me what you're looking for. What number do you want to see? And I've signed up for several different artificial intelligence programs that I trust that pull the information from everywhere. Cromford, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, Federal Reserve. So I have access to all this stuff that I can share with you. Here's what we're seeing here. Remember, we showed you that the median price spiked up after 2021, came back down when rates went up. Now, again, we're flat. We're slightly higher. Now, there's always a debate between median and average, and we can debate that till the cows come home. But the bottom line is we're not really getting harmed right now, but there are parts of the valley that are just absolutely getting hammered. When we look at the Cromford Market Index, and I'll pull that up for here in just a moment, but the parts that are getting hammered are where the builders are competing. Remember, I told you they had to sell? Well, if you've got a resale home and you're trying to compete with the builders, you're going to have to lower your prices. In areas like Buckeye and Maricopa and Queen Creek, we're seeing that. You can see here They're kind of the bottom feeders of this chart. Maricopa's got a index 48.7. It's a very cold market for resale down there. Buckeye 50. Bucky? Queen Creek 62. Surprise 64.5. These are all in the areas where we have extensive new build communities going on. I'm not able to track what the months of supply is for those new build communities. I read something, some areas are like a 9-month supply of homes. That's why you're seeing this fire sale. That's why they're only releasing lots a little block at a time. They're trying not to extend themselves too far. Paradise Valley is still a really hot market at 196.9, as is Fountain Hills and Cave Creek and Chandler. Chandler's bunched up. Gilbert is recovering. They were 88.7, and now they're 100.4. So they're considered a balanced market. Anything under 100 is edging towards a buyer's market. So it starts from Mesa all the way down. Down here, these numbers I circled, those are considered cold. You're having a tough time. You're trying to sell the same house, going up against a builder who's buying down interest rates, offering incentives. You're going to have to do the same thing in order to get your home to sell. I've seen realtors time and time again saying, I don't understand why I'm not getting any buyers looking at my house. I am at market prices. I have priced my home correctly. If you haven't attracted any buyers, newsflash, you have not priced your house correctly. You need to lower the price. Now, realtors don't like to hang on to high prices. There are expenses when you list a home. There are expenses of getting the home ready for sale, listing it, the hours that you spend going into it, the back and forth that you do going to the house. So we have no incentive for pushing high prices. If you came to me and you had a house that was $500,000 and you wanted to sell it for $350,000, do you think I'd tell you no? I would say, okay, well, look, I'm pretty sure I can get you more, but it's totally up to you. But if you came to me with a $500,000 house and said that you want to get $650,000 for it, I'd tell you I'm not taking the listing. I have no incentive to do that because 100% commission, zero sales is zero. So I'm not going to pay for the advertising, pay for the photography, pay for the mileage, all the other expenses we have just to watch it sit, and then you as a lister get mad at me. So I'm not going to take that listing on. That's what you're seeing in this market. And some of the people that have priced too high have eventually had an epiphany and lowered it. And you've seen buyers go, they were asking $5.25 and I got it for $4.35. Some of them do make the move down. You have to be aggressive, but you got to look. You've got to make sure that you're looking at the comps to see what, because you can go and you can look at the comps in the neighborhood, which are 3 months old, maybe 6 months old, and feel that this house is priced right there. But that's history. That's 3 to 6 months ago. If you look and see that it comps at a certain number and these guys are higher, they're dead in the water. Those are the ones you want to get with your agent and go, look, let's swoop in. Let's go in and go, look, we think you're grossly overpriced. Here's what we're willing to give you. See how long you're on the market. Average time on the market's 83 days right now. We saw one in Gilbert this week that was on the market for 78 days. Jackie was getting ready to schedule a showing for it, and then boom, that night they got a contract. Go figure. You never know. And I don't know when I see that they went under contract. We don't know what price they accepted. We don't get to see that until it closes. That's the way the market is. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. It comes out every Monday morning. I share with you this graph here. And I also share with you the commentary that they have below there. And I've got an additional bunch of links that I put in there for more detailed market reports. It's free. It comes out every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Something to read while having your coffee. Hopefully, you're not reading it on the phone while you're driving to work. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, rick@rickhelps.com. Take care.